you go.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Sajia for bringing me here the second time. I was here last year.
Fantastic.
Speaking at a session on green to gold. I consider this a great honor to speak in this distinguished panel. And I will make some opening remarks and speak on a few things we've been doing. I want to first emphasize that with rapid urbanization and growth in emerging economies, it's been predicted that waste streams generated globally is likely to double in the next 20 years. And then with this, it is not possible to use conventional end-of-pipe technologies to handle this level of waste streams that will be generated. It is imperative that there's a need for paradigm shift to the thinking in waste management. And this I look at as from the perspective of sustainable design. Mm-hmm. And sustainable design, I mean, we must begin to look at how we can mimic the nature's way of handling waste management. That's moving from cradle to grave to cradle to cradle, whereby we are able to eliminate waste upstreams using nature's approach of nutrient flow and also from metabolism. And this concept, I will approach it from two ends. The first approach is what I'll refer to as biological metabolism, which is biosphere, and the other one is technical metabolism, which we can say hydrosphere. And the first one had to do with organic waste management, and the second one will have to do with technical management, which has to do with the industry. This is what I mean. We have demonstrated innovation along these two lines. The first one is that we must begin to look at how we can create a concept of zero emission, zero concept, whereby we're able to eliminate waste as if from the perspective of waste prevention. And that means from industry perspective, from municipal perspective, we must be able to create a zero emission concept. For instance, if you look at statistics, we discovered that rich countries spend an average of about 120 billion to dispose municipal waste yearly, and almost about 150 billion to dispose industrial waste. And we can actually save this huge amount of funds that's been disposed to manage this type of waste. And there are two ways, like I've mentioned earlier. The first one is biological metabolism, which can be adopted for organic waste. And this is applicable for food processing industries, dairy products industries, and meat processing industries. And the other one is basically for waste that you can say is difficult to treat, like recalcitrant waste. For the first approach for biological treatment, I will mention an innovation that we have demonstrated in Africa, which we call cows to kilowatts, which was applied to meat processing industry. We have this huge meat processing industry in Africa where we have about 1,000 cows slaughtered daily, and the waste streams is discharged directly into river bodies untreated. We have been able to innovate and invent a technology which is called the anaerobic fish film bioreactor that can biodegrade this waste and generate methane. I need to mention that waste streams contribute about 4% to global greenhouse gas emission. And if you're able to capture this methane and use them profitably, we can actually, in principle, eliminate 4% of global greenhouse gas emission. We've been able to do this, capture this methane, and use it to drive turbines for power generation. Apart from that, this methane also has several end-use applications. Besides being used to drive turbines for power generation, you can also use it, compress it and use that cooking gas. It has several end-use applications. And besides that, we must be able to look as a business as an unusual approach. We discovered that using an investment appraiser, you can actually recoup the cost for this biological metabolism in only 3 years. That means you invest almost $1 million, you can recoup your cost in only about 2 to 3 years, which means it's very profitable. That means you're doing well, you're also doing good. This is a perspective that has to do with sustainable value creation. And the second approach is what I call technical metabolism, which I call hydrosphere. From this approach, is looking at how you can tie green investment with business performance. That means business can actually do well by doing good. It doesn't have to do with only food processing industries alone. It is also applicable to other type of industry, manufacturing industries. And this approach we've demonstrated for the pulp and paper industry, whereby we're able to tie green investment to business performance. The conventional thinking, which I said has to change, the paradigm has to change, is that when you invest in green, you reduce shareholders' profit. But the thinking has changed with evidence from Africa. Initially, we have from Asia, from North America, but now we have from Africa, whereby you can actually invest in green and you can actually improve shareholders' wealth. And this thinking is that competitiveness doesn't have to do with one lose, one win. You can create green investment and actually create a win-win scenario. In this approach, you can eliminate almost up to 25% of waste streams generated by pulp and paper industry without actually investing in end-of-pipe technologies, basically by investing in waste prevention and putting in things like integrated physical device on the production system. That means if you're able to reduce the waste from 100% to 25%, even if you have to apply treatment system, you are only treating about 25%, which means you've been able to save the cost to be invested in about 75% of the waste stream you're generating. And besides that, you can actually, on the other side, when you invest in cleaner production, and you reap the other benefit, which is you can save cost, and at the other end, you're saving money. And this is the perspective we are looking at, that you don't have to waste time. I must look at this waste as resources, no longer waste anymore. Because if you can invest in waste, in resources, and you can actually get profit at the other end. So this is the perspective I'm bringing to this meeting.
Thank you very much. That's really